Tesla stock is currently up almost 5% today following some breaking news from Elon Musk. Among other things that we will cover here in this video, and a pretty remarkable outcome for the day today that many people were not expecting. First up, Elon Musk dropped big news for Tesla stock investors. Elon Musk says that Tesla will have genuinely useful humanoid robots in low production for Tesla internal use next year, and hopefully high production for other companies in 2026. For many that still look at Tesla as an auto company, you gotta start thinking about Tesla's other prospects. While this is not definitive guidance for mass production of Optimus, it's getting close to that point. And I think considering this is right before earnings, it's putting Wall Street on notice of maybe what we're going to hear. And again, when AI is all of the craze or hype in our markets and Tesla and Elon is saying things like this, how can that not get you excited? Bank of America is also out with a new report that says General Motors and Ford are likely to post solid Q2 results based on favorable pricing and a mix of different vehicles sold, BofA Securities said in a note on Monday. Bank of America lifted their price target on General Motors to $85 from $75 and on Ford to $22 from $21 and maintained their buy rating. Respectively, for Tesla, the firm said the focus will be on the upcoming Robotaxi Day, gross margin performance, and new product commentary. BofA maintained its buy rating and $260 price objective on Tesla. So it's one of those situations where good news for Tesla's competitors like Ford and GM getting this new price target increase today is also seen as good news for Tesla. You can also see broader markets are trading higher as well, with more of a concentration into your largest companies today, and to a lesser extent this rotation that we have seen in recent days into the Russell. The Russell is underperforming about 3x the Nasdaq, so the Russell is up 0.48% today. The Nasdaq is up 1.35%. S&P is up almost 1%, and the Dow is only up 0.25%. You can also see the VIX that is getting slammed today, down about 8.6%. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, didn't you make a video last night that said this stepping down of Biden was going to be negative for stocks? Yes, that's still true. You are seeing a knee-jerk reaction, mostly based on algorithms today. But the reality is this situation is going to take multiple days to play out and for the markets to actually price in this new uncertainty. And here you can see today a lot of the outperformance is being led by semiconductors like Nvidia, that's up almost 4% today, because maybe a Kamala Harris presidency, potential presidency, would be not as bad for the semiconductors than maybe the Biden administration or a potential Trump presidency. But you can just see generally Google's up 2.5%, Meta's up 2.5%, Amazon's up 0.5%, Microsoft's up 1.3%. You are seeing these large caps that are seeing the inflows yet again today, which is driving our markets higher than what you see or have seen in the past couple of weeks. So lower odds of a Trump win means less rate cuts, means higher odds of a recession, which means flight to safety into your mega cap names, which is having some effect today on pushing markets higher. And following last week's pain we've seen in the S&P 500, I think a bounce either way was probably in the cards soon. Now, in some other impressive news, Elon Musk says today, nice work by the XAI team, X team, and NVIDIA supporting companies getting the Memphis supercluster training started at 4:20 local time. Coincidence there? Probably not. With 100,000 liquid-cooled H100s on a single RDMA fabric, it's the most powerful AI training cluster in the world. Elon Musk goes on to say this is a significant advantage in training the world's most powerful AI by every metric by December of this year. Now, this is pretty cool for someone like myself, especially that used to play a lot of Fortnite, specifically video games. Don't have as much time these days, but look at that. A Cybertruck is coming to Fortnite starting tomorrow. I mean, and it's a pretty good representation of the Cybertruck. In addition to Fortnite, the Tesla Cybertruck is also coming to Rocket League tomorrow, and both of these games combined have over 250 million people that play them every month. So this is another way to get that attention out there for the Cybertruck. Tesla's Giga Berlin received support from Prime Minister Wojda. Says, quote, "We are well advised to use water sparingly, but Tesla is the wrong one to criticize in that. The company doesn't want to use any additional water in production and wants to fully recycle its industrial wastewater in the future." Jordan Peterson will be streaming his conversation with Elon Musk at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Porsche expects the transition to electric vehicles to take longer than they previously thought, they said on Monday, having previously said its aim was for 80% of sales to be all electric by 2030. Quote, "It has now watered down that goal by tying it explicitly to consumer demand and developments in the electromobility sector, saying in a statement that only it could now deliver on the 80% target if those factors warranted it." And Rivian's CEO in a new interview today said, quote, "Too many car makers are copying Tesla." Which is probably not a bad strategy if we're going to be honest, since Tesla is really the only profitable EV maker ever. I mean, what other choice do you have than to copy Tesla? Just in all fairness. As far as institutional option flows into Tesla today, you can see here via the interesting flow sentiment on Ortex, you have 43 different trades totaling $21 million with a positive order value of 99%. So the interesting or unusual trades coming through for Tesla today from big money are extremely positive. You can see today's short interest of free float is sitting at 3.79%, and you have $25.16 billion currently sold short in Tesla. That equates to about 105.18 million shares that are currently sold short. You have return shares of 5.91 million today and borrowed shares of 900,000. That means on net, potentially you're seeing as many as 5 million shares that are actually being covered on today, which honestly makes a lot of sense heading into Tesla's earnings. I don't think you want to be short into that event tomorrow. Over on StockTwits, sentiment today for Tesla is bullish at 56, not as bullish as where you were yesterday at 63, but still overall pretty good. Message volume today is at 44, which is considered low, and yesterday you were at 36, so today is a little bit of an improvement. I would expect that going from Sunday to Monday when markets are open, and the participation ratio today is high at 56. Google Trends data for the Tesla lineup is starting to reaccelerate again today, probably because of the interest rate buy down that Tesla is doing yet again for the Model Y. Now you can purchase a Model Y for about 2%. For that interest rate, and that seems to fuel a lot of demand into Tesla products. That seems to be the strategy that is by far the most effective, and it's looking like it's boosting Google Trends yet again, which is a very good sign for Tesla's potential deliveries. You can see the Cybertruck went from 64 to 68. The Model Y went from 25 to 29. The Model 3 went from 22 to 24. The Model S went from 10 to 11, and the Model X went from 8 to 9. And Google Trends data for full self-driving, if we look at the entirety of this data, you're sitting at 22 today, which is higher than where you were before this free trial, basically at any other moment in time, at least to, actually trend at these levels. So this still indicates some pretty good interest into full self-driving, likely a higher take rate now than what we've seen previously. According to the Fed Funds futures market, by December 18th, 2024, the last Fed meeting of this year, you're still barely pricing in 3 rate cuts by the end of this year. The odds of that are 45.2%. The odds of 2 cuts are only 44.1%. Markets are firmly still pricing in that first rate cut September 18th. With about a 92% probability overall. And then for November, there's a 52.3% chance of another rate cut. So back-to-back rate cut September and November. And then it's really a toss-up whether or not we get another cut December 18th or not. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. Tesla's global inventory for the Model Y is sitting at 6,000, a recent uptrend from the lows that we were at about 3,800 in the last couple of weeks. The Model 3 is sitting at 4,800 in global inventory, the Model X at 3,300, and the Model S at 2,800. 10-year Treasury yields today are up about 3 basis points to 4.27%, which is again another reason why you're seeing this outperformance in your large cap names and not this continued rotation into small caps as much as we have seen recently. And I do still think Biden dropping out of the race and this political uncertainty is going to take some time to feed into markets. I don't think it's instantaneous, and this knee-jerk reaction of let's plow our money back into mega cap tech is you know, having that effect on pushing markets higher, even though it's not a very bullish day across the board. Now, if we look at Tesla on a technical basis, if you still have this bull flag pattern on your charts, we're retesting the lower bound of this. If we break above this trend line, which in all reality is about $2 higher than where Tesla stock is now, around 253 or so, that would be a signal of further upside. I really want to watch to see if we get rejection or resistance around this level. If we do, odds are we trade sideways heading into Tesla earnings tomorrow, and then could probably see some upside from there. As I have explained many times, and I will go over Tesla earnings in the next video more in depth, but you have low expectations for Tesla earnings. For the actual numbers themselves, I don't think that's going to be the biggest thing that drives Tesla. I think the biggest thing that drives Tesla is whether or not we get new models that are actually unveiled, new details on when production could start on those different models. That increases Tesla's total addressable market, better known as TAM, and that would be very impactful. Also, the robotaxi event, if we get new details on that, that's going to be important. And then the second most upvoted question for Tesla earnings is, when are we expecting the first robotaxi ride to actually occur? And these things are going to be what really drives Tesla stock higher or lower following earnings. On the downside, I think you want to watch that 20-day moving average at about $233 per share. I think you're going to get some support around there. That also does coincide now with the low that you've seen on July 12th. So if we do get some downside, that would be the level I would be targeting. And then the only level that really matters as far as the longer term uptrend for Tesla is about $225 per share or so. This is the longer term downtrending trend line. As long as you stay above that, things look pretty good. But I will have more to talk about all of this in the next video coming out at 8 p.m. tonight, and you'll get a full rundown of what to expect for Tesla earnings coming tomorrow. In the meantime, hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.